Hello and welcome back to Unashamed with Toyasi. This is a space where we tell the truth gently but honestly, where you don't have to hide and don't have to pretend. So let's take a deep breath and let's talk. All right, today I want to talk about something that many of us have felt at one point or the other in our lives, but don't always say out loud. I want to talk to you about what I call, I thought I would be further by now. Yes. I thought I would have covered more distance in my life right now. I thought I would be high up there. While we're growing up, we had so much dreams and aspirations. And some of us even said, oh, at this age, I should have accomplished or I should have done this and that. Maybe you thought by this stage of your life, things would look different. You would be more stable. You'll be more certain. You'll be more established. Your career will be clearer. Your finances better. Your relationships more settled. And even probably you'll be married by now with children. You had a picture in your mind of how life would go. And now you look around and it doesn't quite match. The reality doesn't match the picture you had in your head. And if you're honest, it can be discouraging. Because it's not like you haven't been trying. You have. You've been putting in the effort. You've been making decisions. You've been taking steps. But somehow, you still feel behind. Are you the only one in that space? No. Unfortunately, no. I know a lot of people in that space. I used to be there too. I used to look at people ahead of me and what is going on? Sometimes it's even harder when you look at other people, and that's it. People your age or even younger. And it seems like they've figured it out. They're moving forward. They're achieving things. They are probably living that dream that you once had for yourself. They're becoming what you thought you would be by now. And you start to ask yourself quietly, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? But here's something I've been learning, and I want you to please pay attention and stay with me for the next 5 minutes because I want to speak to your soul and I want to speak to your spirit. Life doesn't always follow the timeline we imagined. And I think that this is a place to start. And just because your own journey looks different, it doesn't mean it is entirely wrong. It doesn't mean it is always wrong. Now, please, I want you to know that this is not a motivational talk of some sort. I just feel like speaking to your spirit because this is one topic that I know that a lot of people are struggling with. There are things happening in your life right now that may not be visible on the outside. There are lessons that you are learning quietly. They may not be visible. They may not be that obvious. Your growth is not even loud enough for people to see. The strength you are building quietly is not loud. People cannot see it, but it doesn't mean that nothing is happening to you. Sometimes we make the mistake of measuring progress only by what we can see, only by what we can. The life we live in right now has told us that result is what people want to see. They don't want to see your potentials and all of that. While I understand that narrative, I want you to see it clearly. Sometimes we measure progress only by what we can show, and that's not it. But not everything that matters can be seen. Not everything that matters can be seen. And so sometimes you need to sit down and tell yourself what is actually working. What do I have that is solid? Even though you're in that space right now where you feel like, oh, I should have moved further than this. But if you sit down and tell yourself some of the things that, okay, I can boast of, but it may not be visible to other people, I think you'll be grateful for it. You'll be happier. For instance, you look at some of your values and you're like, oh, okay. You look at the fact that, oh, I know the Lord. I speak with the Holy Spirit, have a fellowship with God. That is also valuable. That is something. You see, there are seasons where you're not necessarily moving fast. I agree. But if you look at the flip side, you are being prepared. Your mindset is shifting. Your values are becoming clearer. Your foundation is being built. That is what I'm talking about. These things may not necessarily be visible to other people. They may not be seen. They may not be appreciated. But it doesn't mean that they are not there. And I've come to realize that being behind is often just a comparison we all have created. The fact that you even feel that you are behind, it is because there is a comparison that is going on. Yes. And so the idea of being behind is just a comparison we have created for ourselves. Because your life was never meant to be a copy of somebody else's timeline. Every season of your life is a trust from God. God entrusted you with every season of your life. And so you must trust God to understand the timing. And one of the ways to trust God in this season is that it can be as simple as you believing that your life is not off track, even if it feels slow. Let me take that quietly and slowly. It begins with you. And the mere fact that you are able to come to terms and understand and have a mindset that is solid enough to say that I believe that my life is not off track, even though it feels slow, you are good to go. It's a good way to start. It's a good mindset. It's a great mindset. The first thing is to believe. Trust God by believing that your life is not off track, even when it feels slow, even when it looks slow. So if you've been feeling like you should be further by now, I want you to pause for a moment. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is actually growing in my life right now that I've been overlooking? Now, this is not a call to be lazy or to be nonchalant or complacent about your life. No. You should desire to advance. Yes. You should desire to move forward. Yes. But let that desire to move forward come from a place. Let it come from a place of wanting to truly move forward because you have to, but not from a place of comparison. That's my message for you today. So you need to begin to ask yourself, what is growing in my life? I want you to sit down and highlight what is growing in my life. What can I place value on right now in my life? Even if there are things that are not showing, even if there are things that are not visible to others, but you know that these things are there. Highlight them, and highlight also the things that you would love to see in your life. You would love to see more in your life, areas of your life that you know that you need to put more structure, be more disciplined, delay gratification and all of that. But I'm saying that I just desire that you understand what I'm trying to say, that let the desire to move forward, to advance your life, come from a place that truly wants to grow, but not from the place of comparison. I hope you understand. So, because maybe you're not even as behind as you think. Maybe, your journey is just unfolding differently. Do you get? Maybe it's time to just sit back and just, make changes in your life, right? Make changes. Tell yourself, okay, I want to do some things better, but let it not be on the scale of comparison. Let that desire to move forward. While I know that sometimes some of these things can challenge us to want to move forward, it can help us, propel us. But let it not be that you are doing these things because of comparison. Let it be because you really want to advance your life, right? So until that happens, I want you to give yourself grace. Keep showing up. Keep doing your part. And trust that life is still moving forward, even if it doesn't look that way to you, even if it doesn't look the way you expected. All right? All right. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. And remember, you don't have to rush your journey. You can grow, you can evolve, and become unashamed. My name is Jersey, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.